Everybody to Let's Talk Relationship. And I just want to take a few moments to acknowledge you all and saying thank you for your support, your ongoing support. Let's Talk Relationship is a show that is on weekly where I talk about everything that comes under the banner of relationships. And today we have an exciting hot topic, which it kind of is a continuation from last week. If you did see my show last week about infidelity and does that pain ever go away? Just following up with trust issues. Okay. So today, yes, we're going to be talking about trust issues. And are trust issues affecting your relationship? Yes, this is something that I think a lot of us have experienced in one way or another. And, it's pretty fair to say that, you know, we can have doubts, we can have questions going on about our relationship and, are we really able to trust this person that we are in a relationship with? So, as you know, trust in a relationship is fundamental. And, it really does depend on trust for a relationship to really exist. Would you agree? Let me know if not. But if you just tuned in, please, 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 please subscribe to my channel, click that notification bell, and every time there is a new video, you get all the downloads, share with your friends, and also like. Because today we are talking about trust issues. And if you've just joined us on the live, please hashtag live or hashtag replay. So, trust in a relationship, we're saying that it's fundamental and it is sometimes tough to actually, you know, trust someone, particularly if we have been jaded in some way in the past. But if you are concerned and you may think that you have trust issues, but you're not sure, or your partner has trust issues and it's hard to live with, or the relationship isn't really based on good trust, then this is something you've really got to listen to. So take away all the distractions and tune in because there's some really serious questions that we need to ask ourselves to help us get through this, I guess, situation that we call, possibly jealousy. We may have a touch of jealousy. We're worried that our partner may be cheating on us. We are not totally convinced. Perhaps we have trouble believing our partner because they're you were feeling a bit skeptical and their words don't match up to their actions, or maybe your partner is really trying too hard to try and convince you to trust them. Yeah, so there may be various areas to gaining this trust, and I guess allowing these issues to actually affect your relationship. Because if they are unaddressed, sooner or later they will affect your relationship. And this is why I really wanted to talk about this topic today, because if it isn't addressed, um, you know, sooner than later, it definitely has a negative impact on your relationship. And the trick is, I believe, to really knowing whether your issues are normal or alarming, whether we should be listening to those alarm bells that are going off. And so, yes, anyone, if you're out there, let us know that you are here present and chiming in. But trust issues. So, what is trust? Why is trust so important in a relationship? Well, as we said, it's the foundation of a relationship. I mean, there's other areas, there's communication, but trust is one of the aspects that is necessary for a relationship to actually thrive. Because if there's no trust, without it, fear rules. That's right. Fear sets in, and we are overtaken by the sabotaging thoughts, the negative voices that go on, and possibly we could be influenced by our environment, people that are in our lives talking in our ears as well. So there's a lot of um, you know contributing factors. But for a loving relationship to actually flourish, we need trust. We need to have that, feeling safe, feeling secure in our relationship to actually, be able to, as I said before, thrive and be able to, grow. Now, to be truly happy, both individuals need to be able to trust each other. That's right. We need to be able to sit down and have this conversation about trust and you know, what are your deal breakers as well, and how you feel about it, and having some open communication. Because, if we don't, because usually what happens, in a relationship, when you first meet someone, there's, all that infatuation, all that love, all that chemistry that's going on. But after that initial infatuation, this is where the relationship truly blossoms. It either blossoms or um, it can either diffuse. It goes one way or the other. Because what happens is, if we do have doubt, if we do start questioning, our subconscious will begin to be asking questions. Okay. And these are the questions that will set us spinning. And I know because, this is exactly what's happened to me in the past. I won't lie to you. I did have, trust issues for a long time. Trusting, um, you know, my partner, trusting men in general, being able to, openly talk about things that went on with me, to then move forward and, forge forward in a relationship with the person that, I was in a relationship. So, the questions that, one can ask yourself if you are in a little bit of doubt is, does this person honor what they actually say? Are they open about their feelings, even the negative ones? And do their actions match the words that they speak? Now, these are really simple questions that we can be asking ourselves to really see whether we have got trust issues, whether we're really overthinking it, or there is something actually happening in the relationship that we may need to take note of and look for the signs. Now, what causes trust issues? Well, I want to share with you a little bit about my experience that I had in one of my relationships. I know last week we spoke about infidelity, and I guess from that stemmed a lot of, my mistrust. But there was one time I did have you know, a a real situation which brought alarm bells to me, and that was where my partner at the time, I found out um, he had a secret friend, a secret female friend. Now, this is something that, again, we need to speak about in relationships. Is is it okay to have a, you know is it okay to have friends of the opposite sex? And of course that is. It's normal. You had friends before you entered the relationship, and you're going to have friends while you're in the relationship, and so forth. But in my particular case, where I surprisingly found out that he had a secret female friend, where they were having an emotional, I guess what you call an emotional friendship, or emotional connection with this other person. It wasn't physical. I know it wasn't, and I knew for a fact it wasn't, but it was where he would get on the phone with her and, talk with her without me knowing. Now, when that happens and you are not sharing that with your partner, well, it's very simple. Two things are going to happen. You're either going to get caught out, and that's exactly what happened with, you know, my guy at the time, or you're actually um, not trusting yourself enough to share this with your partner. Because when you are not feeling confident or you're not feeling secure in yourself that you can openly talk about this, you're hiding something. And if you're hiding it, there's obviously some guilt or some shame. You're not feeling comfortable about it. And these things need to be addressed. It's pretty you know, simple to say that these are areas that really need to be addressed. Now, in my case, when I was having this situation, I left room for communication, explanations, finding out, why this was happening and why he was unable to really talk to me about it, that he had this, friendship with this other female of the opposite sex, where he wasn't able to share that with me. So in my case, you know, it 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 kind of ended my relationship. Not immediately, because I did try and work at it, but I had trust issues. And I knew I had trust issues from my previous relationship. So what I really, learned about myself, that if I didn't get to the core of healing that mistrust, having those issues about, who's he talking to? Is he telling me the truth? Are they, doing the right thing? Checking up and, really doing the hard work, when really a relationship shouldn't be that hard. When you have that trust and when you can openly talk about everything and anything, I think that is like this, the secret sauce to any relationship. And even if, you have to share something where you think your partner is going to be upset about it, talk about it, bring up the conversation, tell each other how you feel, because the challenges that you're going to face are actually going to help you, push through, forge forward, and develop stronger foundations in your relationship. Now, with me, I found that, it just didn't, I had to make up that choice, that I had to make that decision as to, do I want to keep going with this? But for me, I knew I had to do some work on myself. I knew that if I didn't do the work on myself, I was only going to end up in another failed relationship and then another failed relationship, because that's exactly what was happening. I was like entering and exiting relationships simply because I still had, unresolved issues. I still had wounds. So to me, this is where, the work comes in. It can be hard. It can be challenging. It can actually, you know, challenge us. And there may be things we don't want to know. There may be things that we don't want to really confront, because they can be really painful. It's like rehashing the past, because a lot of the times, trust issues, where do they actually come from? Okay. Do they actually come from, you know, um, the past relationship that we just exited? Or was it something that we developed in this relationship that we're just in. Okay. But trust issues can also come from an early age, okay? An early part of our experience. It's the interactions that we may have had with our parents, with our siblings, with our guardians. And often these issues may originate even as far back as, our childhood at school, trauma that we may have experienced in school, or with classmates. It can go as far back as that. And it can also stem from abuse. It can stem from social rejection, or sometimes it can actually come from low self-esteem. But the subconscious mind stores all this like a computer. That's right. Our subconscious, if you can just think of it like a hard drive, that everything that has happened to you from, the day you were born to right up now, it has stored all that information. And sometimes, unbeknown to us, we have, pain and hurt and trauma that is stored not only in the subconscious mind, but is stored in our cellular memory. And this is where we, it's where we need to do the work. It's where we need to come in and do a big cleanup. And as I said, sometimes, we don't want to do that because we don't want to confront our fears. We don't want to confront the trauma. But if we don't, a low self-esteem can set in. Yes, because we're vibrating at a low energy. We are not moving forward. We're stuck in the pain. We're stuck in the trauma, and any trigger that goes off in our current life is going to flare up all that pain, all that mistrust, all those trust issues that we can carry from relationship to relationship to relationship. That's right. If we are not dealing with that, we're going to be running on this vicious cycle of pain, mistrust, and feeling disappointment, and of course, always attracting the wrong partners. Maybe in some cases, even attracting toxic relationships all the time. So, because we have got that toxicity also still sitting in us. Yes, because, there's maybe unforgiveness, there's resentment, there's, pain, anger, hurt, frustration, all those emotions that, will bubble up inside us. And if they're unresolved and not healed, they will be destructive. And you may be in a good relationship, you may be with an amazing person, but we can struggle to actually, um, trust them because we're not trusting ourselves. Ultimately, that's what it really stems from. We're unable to really, um, you know, sit with that pain, trust ourselves to sit with it, and you know face the anxiety, face the depression, face the fear, face the abandonment, to build ourselves up enough that we can trust no matter what relationship we're faced with and challenges we're faced in that relationship. So that's what I really wanted to share about trust issues. And can these trust issues affect our relationship? Well, the simple answer is yes. If they are unresolved, if they are unattended to, if we just lift up the carpet and sweep it all under the carpet, they will affect our relationship. They will affect all our relationships in that, if really, whether it be our family relationships, whether it be our relationships with our friends, colleagues, and with our intimate relationships, most importantly, because that's where the pain sits. That's where the pain really, stemmed from. And if we're not, willing to do it, we've got to also be willing to sit in that pain. And sooner or later, um, the pain will be the fuel, that anger, that fear will be the fuel to actually help us forge forward. But if this sounds like you, if this sounds like something you are struggling with, and you have found yourself, asking these questions and you're not sure, and this is something that you have found yourself, repeating in, you know, one relationship, then in another relationship, then another relationship, then it may be time to actually seek some help. Okay. There's nothing wrong with talking about it. Now, I know, particularly for men, this is something that I think men usually struggle to talk about because they have their ideas of how to deal with mistrust, and sometimes it's just totally ignoring it, hoping that it will go away, hoping that there'll be changes, hoping if I treat her better, this trust that I have will disappear. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't. It only escalates. It'll only ferment into bigger problems until there's a big major explosion at the end. So if this is something that you are challenged with, feel free to reach out. First of all, I'm here to help you with any of your questions, any of your concerns. I do have a complimentary, what I call insight call, where we hop on a 30-minute call and we can chat about anything you want, whether it be about trust issues, whether it be about any other issue in your relationship, about yourself. I'm here to help you out with that. So I hope this little segment on trust issues has helped you. I am always here every Friday with Let's Talk Relationship. And that's right, I also have a quiz that will be putting up on below, so you can actually do the relationship trust quiz. It is a quiz that I've put together that may help you understand and have some questions answered about, am I like this? Is this me? Or with your partner, if you have a partner that you feel you want to share this video or the quiz, feel free to do so, because it always helps, I think, when we do this self-inquiry, when we do this questioning within ourselves, it gives us it broadens our vision as to, you know, maybe I could change and do this, or maybe I should be stopping, from doing this, or maybe I should just say no. Whatever the case may be, it allows us to see things in a different light. All right. So I'll be signing off. Stefania Pulio from the Gentleman Square, saying, as always, love and passion to you all. And be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, The Gentleman Square. And as always, I'll catch you next week, and sending you all love and passion. Bye for now.